Hi, I'm Alvin Chow, and I'm Division Director of the Keyboard Studies Division at the Oberlin Conservatory. And I'm being um, joined by my colleagues, Angela Cheng, who also happens to be my wife, and our colleague, Stanislav Ioudenitch. We're here, of course, to be part of the 2021 Oberlin-Como Festival. This week of master classes, wonderful students, and of course our master teachers. And our esteemed colleague Stanislav Ioudenitch is one of the instructors for this week. And so we wanted to have a chance for everyone to get to know the master teachers a little bit better and to see the kinds of careers that they are leading and what brought them to this point in their life. So maybe we can just start with how you began. Where did that happen, and who did you study with?
Yes, actually, I never started as a pianist. Although the entire family are musicians, my mother, father, grandmothers, they wanted me to be a violinist. My father was a great violinist. And the rest of the family are all pianists, including my mother, her brother, her mother, etc. So that's the idea they had. But that idea really didn't coincide with my temperament and my vision of how the life should be. Can you imagine? They asked me to do this. That's the most unnatural position in the world. So I never could understand why they're torturing me. And it was for a year or more, but it didn't go anywhere. And my grandmother's power was big because the parents, they were too young. Too young, they were studying, so they couldn't even control what's going on. And so one day, when they were in Moscow, I think, just they came back, and I was a pianist suddenly. So my grandmother brought me to school, and they arranged a special school, and they arranged meetings, and I started to play piano.
Wow!
I was eight and a half.
That's good. That would be considered late these days.
Yes, today, my goodness, I see people, 3 years old, you go to YouTube, you see they're playing ballad for Chopin. So, no, not in my time.
But it didn't hurt you at all.
What?
It didn't hurt you at all. I mean,
no, I don't know.
Not at all.
The school, they didn't see any talent in me. And the special music school, they couldn't even find this prestigious teacher for me, although everybody knew them, because I didn't demonstrate any interest in any kind of, especially violin, right? And so they found this lady who was a young, kind of out of her years of studies. She came from St. Petersburg. She was studying in St. Petersburg. She was from Tashkent. And she was in the beginning, she was the teacher of the secondary piano, meaning she was teaching the violinists, cellists. That's what I think. And they really begged her to take me. And she did. Eventually, she became a very famous teacher, and she produced people like Eldar Nebelsin and many others. But she was my real first teacher, because my mother helped around, she didn't work. Parents, I think it never works. And,
No.
Yeah. And her name is Natalia Vasi. She passed away very early in her life. But she gave me my hands and my love, and I owe her.
What kind of student were you? Were you self-motivated? Did you love to practice? Did your teacher have to force you to practice? What was that like for you?
And I asked the same question to you. We,
You first.
I don't know. I never saw kids who are motivated to go to practice 6 hours a day while their friends are outside having fun, playing games, etc. No, it was very difficult. It was very difficult. And, you know, I remember this everyday theme. You have to practice. Everybody was after me. You have to practice. You have to practice. And of course, I would do anything not to practice, but spend all these hours. And so, believe it or not, all this was going up to the age of 13. So I couldn't find fun. Although, of course, the serious studies were there, and I was asked to do this. I was in special music school going to the examinations. But I say that it was a great passion for me in the beginning, and I was doing other things. One day, my father came to me and said, "You have to learn how to practice." I practice a lot. I practice 6 hours, 7 hours, whatever. No, you know. And so he brought this chess clock, 2 clocks. So, and he spent all day with me. He said, "Okay, 6 hours. Let's see how you do 6 hours." And so he would, if I stop playing, I go to eat or go anywhere else, he would stop the clock. And so we started to accumulate the real time of my practice. Guys, it was the most difficult day of my life. And it took the entire day from morning until the very late evening. And I only could accumulate about 3.5, 4, 3.5, 3:45, something like that, of clean time.
Wow.
So we should show that to all of our students. When we say I'm practicing, yeah, it doesn't mean that you spend all this time with the piano or think about it. So this was amazing how it helped me to manage my time of practicing. And when I was 13, I played already with orchestra when I was 10. But when I was 13, I played Greek here. Something happened. I don't know. My father thought that was the spirit of her mom. She was his aunt, but her mother died when he was very, very little. And she was the lady who educated him and was his basically mother. She loved him more than anything in the world, and she loved me more than anything in the world, and loved music. She knew she was coming from St. Petersburg. His Ioudenitch family was coming from there. She knew personally Horowitz and Sopronitsky.
Oh,
wow. She was not a musician. She was from that group of people who were very interested in art, and she really dreamt. Her dream was that everybody would become a famous musician in her family. And she passed away. Something happened. I guess she said maybe her spirit came to me, something like that. Oh. I changed completely. And that performance, and I actually have the tape of it with the National Symphony. That changed everything. And you can hear. I never showed this to anybody. When we keep there playing, but when we see each other, I will try to bring it. Okay. That was the turning point. Yeah. Then nobody could stop. Wow.
Wow. So were you still in Tashkent at that time, or were you still in Tashkent?
I was in Tashkent until I was 19.
Oh, okay.
And the promising kids, there were not many. So the promising, which they were really taking special care. The teachers would make a connection with professors in the center. Center is Moscow. Center of the world in Soviet Union was Moscow. And so we started to fly, people like me, started to fly to connect with famous professors in Moscow Conservatory. And my first connection was my mother's professor, Alvin, the pianist who was playing with Oberlin. He was a wonderful, fantastic professor. He passed away very early as well.
Mm.
And later I met Bashkirov and started to go sometimes to meet with him when I was growing. And then eventually, when Soviet Union collapsed and Bashkirov got a new job in a newly built school, Queen Sofia in Madrid, Queen Sofia. It was amazing. This call was amazing because you have to understand we were all close to Soviet Union, right? You could never dream just to go somewhere to practice, but to study. Moscow was the dream. That's the only you could do, and which was fantastic though. But he said, "I got this. Are you willing to come to study with me in Madrid?"
Wow.
That was amazing. Obviously, I said,
Yeah.
I'm coming.
Yeah.
And so that's the next point. So for years, that's only Madrid with Dmitry Bashkirov.
Mm. And was it that relationship that brought you to the international school at Como?
Absolutely.
Mm.
That was the next point, and we had arguments, and we were very close, very close. And when you become like a son, so you start to have son-father relationship, you start to have arguments. And of course, I didn't have any. Again, I had the Soviet passport, so I couldn't just freely travel. I didn't have any money. And he did the best he could, the best in the world. He just recommended me to go to. He talked to William Grant Appore, and he just sent me there. It was another absolutely amazing turn in my life.
Mm.
The best could happen to anyone.
Mm.
It was International Piano Foundation, Como. The International Piano Foundation, Theo Lieb.
Mm.
Como, Theo Lieb. And so I went there after Madrid. Directly.
Can you describe the kind of life that you had when you were attending the school, this kind of weekly or daily schedule, and the interaction with the professors that were brought there?
Are you referring to Como?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that was also very interesting because this is not a regular school as we understand the school, Oberlin Conservatory, or any other conservatory. This was a completely different vision of how the young musicians would receive their knowledge from the masters. First of all, it was interesting. I arrived and I didn't understand this. There was this unbelievable villa overlooking Elaja. It was in Pliantica. I came. People who were working there in the villa, they just met me. And at that time, I spoke only Spanish. Of course, I was coming from Spain. And I could understand the words in Italian, but the sense, I couldn't get the sense. And so I arrived, nobody's there, nobody from the musician, no teacher, no student. And I just started to wait. And what this lady was telling me, I thought she was telling that by 7 o'clock, somebody will be here. It didn't happen. So maybe it's 7 o'clock in the morning. Then I was waiting. Of course, they gave me the place and they started to feed me, but I was alone. 7 o'clock in the morning, nobody. Okay, maybe it's 7 days. And I was waiting 7 days, and then somebody appeared finally, and the students started to arrive. So it was set as a chain of master classes which happened over the year. There were only 5 students who were selected to study there for 1 year only. And there were some exceptions made for some. My case, for example, was an exception because otherwise I had to go back to Pakistan because I was not free at all. while I had my solo class. And so the teachers started to arrive. And what teachers? Remember, the first meeting was still when people were not there. Then one morning I'm coming and I see this little lady sitting far away in the garden. They made a table for her, very beautiful. She was under this several 100 years old tree, writing something. So they explained this is famous Oberlin Conservatory. But I didn't know who she. Because in Russia we never had access to this country. No recordings, nothing about that. And of course, they explained, and so I came to her. Little by little, I was close. Actually, my English was not good at all. It's never good. But that time, I couldn't speak. But somehow I figured out that I have to come closer and say something. Maybe, what a wonderful weather. And so the meeting was like that. I'm coming. Oh, madame, what a wonderful weather. And she would like. I'm writing a book. And she continued. Then, of course, we had a fantastic relationship, long time. And when I burned my hand in the library in '97, she was the first person to send the fax. No phones at that time, right? No cell phones. Yeah, it was amazing. Yeah. I learned from her. That's spectacular. And so she was one of those teachers. And so as I mentioned, we were 5, and there were like 10 different master classes or more throughout the year. Dmitry Bashkir was coming twice a year. Leon Fleischer was coming twice a year. And Futsong was coming twice a year. And they, 3 of them, who we lost, and we're dedicating this academy, 3 of them, they were the founding members. Leon Fleischer, Futsong, and Bashkir. And others were Krishna, son of legendary Arthur Schnapp, and Karl Ulrich was, I would say, my second father. He changed the whole perspective of how I thought about music. And he helped me to understand all the things. Then Alexis Weissenberg, Oberlin-Como, Charles Rosen, later Alicia de la Roche, even Fischer Dieskau came with his talent. It was a collaboration. So people like that. And later, of course, when I was out more, but So that was amazing. And the difference was that they were not just classes. We were eating with them. We were talking to them. We were playing games. All of the funny ones. And again, I remember what President Turek said, "Oh, young man, you have such difficult times today to make it every year." I remember when I started, I played my debut in Carnegie Hall, Brahms' second concerto with Bronfman. You can imagine.
Yeah.
Schnabel. I couldn't move in his new classes to others. And just, he was an answer to many things. One of them is this old-fashioned silver-like sound. I was fascinated since I was very, very young. I was listening to recordings of Rachmaninoff, of Schnabel, or Chow. Couldn't understand why their sound is so different and so individual. And of course, it's not only about sound. It's later I heard it's put many things together.
Mm-hmm.
Timing you use, it's about oceans, it's about pedal, it's about weight, it's a lot of things. But then this guru came, sat on the piano and started to play first notes. That sound came out. Because I thought that in the modern piano, the modern recording, it's not possible somehow. I thought I was discounting into the older, old-fashioned recording technique and maybe all the pianos, which is part of the proper pianos are different now. But no, he was playing in the modern piano, and that sound came. And since that moment, I was there.
Wow.
What a
miraculous.
It's, you know, the idea that not only were you just having the lessons, but you were actually living with them. You were eating with them. You were experiencing their life off stage and out of the classroom. That must just have been an unbelievable experience. And I know that you are equally devoted to your students, that lessons run hours long if necessary, and that you devote that kind of attention to their lives outside of the studio as well. That must have been a profound influence on the way that you work with your own students today.
Correct, absolutely, 100%. I think I owe my students to give back what I've received throughout the lifetime of learning, and that's what I'm used to myself. I know how difficult it is to understand the control. Learn how to forward for yourself intent and others' intent, and how to continue the traditions. I was talking to Clyburn about that, about what we were doing in Roma, and different things, problems which we encounter today, performances, etc. And he is quite disappointed with what direction all this. That somebody needs to keep the museum, and that's the Como I call it, museum, just to keep the traditions, to keep the values in one place, and to follow them. And he liked that a lot. He was laughing and saying, preserve it. Somewhere it should be.
And that, of course, is what we are trying to do right now in bringing a little bit of the international Como program to Oberlin. And of course, having you now in charge of that program is a great gift to us at Oberlin as your colleagues, also to our students who can witness master teachers and young artists who come and have master classes with these teachers.
Alvin, I appreciate what you're saying. And it was possible. We believed in this project, and we were able to build it, and hopefully it will grow, and we will continue, especially after this difficult year. The entire festival we're doing online. Our connection is not perfect. Some students were playing from their rooms at home, teacher as well. But hopefully next year we'll have this back in our beautiful world, and hopefully we'll be able to record it, share with the world.
Well, I personally am very excited to be watching all of these, the entire festival. I can't wait. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for putting this together. I know how hard it was, especially in this difficult time, and amazing that you have done. And thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Alvin.
Let's start the third movement of Pétrouchka. piece, and what a difficult piece to play, huh? Takes energy. Huh? Yeah. This third movement, right? Yeah. But then to start with first movement, the Russian dance is so difficult as well. Yeah, you have to be very precise, and the hand should be not rigid, otherwise you lose sound, you lose speed, you lose notes, etc. Really unplayable. So, what is this? So these are festivities, right? And you know, you see a lot of people walking, dancing, celebrating. So they probably cook food, they exchange, they they're dancing, they bring bears. Yeah, it's a typical Russian historical way of making a holiday. So imagine about this. So these are colors. There's colors and smells, right? Remember that. Don't get too serious about it. All right. Most important is layers of colors. That's what we're going to strive towards, right? So beginning, just the presentation. This just you smell the air, and so there's something is there. That is the violins, you know, and right. This is already there. This is something. This, and then there are already two things. Yeah, and then you put the pedal. Yeah, now, so good. Now, this is a somebody's playing, right? So this is again sort of Russian garmoshka. This is little. I don't know. Do you know what garmoshka is? Right? Have you seen it? Accordion, right? Sort of, right? So this is same thing. You know, this is no expression. Can you? So I think it's a yeah, and can you also better? Good. So this is atmospheric, and then something. So a little bit more expressive, dolce. Yeah, and then, and of course, look, it's written, and everybody tries to play it. But I think in the orchestra, it's like rolling something, right? I think if you roll, but you have to make it kind of. Yeah, no, more harmonics, more. Can you play left hand for me? Left hand. So no. Look. You know, if we were playing Bach, we would do right. But here, I don't hear the chord. No, look. Yes. So. Yangrui, can I get, and now tempo. Just yeah, very nice. Now it's maybe a little bit too fast, right? So, but please, dolce. Okay, maybe a little bit softer. Yeah, make it dolce, atmospheric. Yeah, very nice. I hear a lot this, but I would like to everything. Okay, and this. Very good. Stop. And one last request. Yeah, more upper. You see, what I want you to do. This you play a little bit, and then again piano. No, where's bass? It will every time rolling. No, roll it. Yangrui, again, not together. Roll. look. I wait. It's okay. Be free. Yes. Very nice. Yes. Very nice. Can you play? This is when you practice. More sort of more musical, I would say. And upper voice a little bit more in the third. Yeah. Something like that. And okay. And then of course don't change pedal. Yeah, can you be also not working because I feel work. But yes. Yeah. Look at that. Yes. Yeah, this is a different kind, a little bit more fingertip. Yes. Yeah, it's a more crescendo. Yes. Yeah, so when you hear and then immediately at this voice. No more. Left pedal. Yeah, and please, Yangrui, don't make accent. Yeah, can you play much less pedal? A little pedal. Look. I hold it. Do you hear? Only for harmonics. Otherwise, it becomes mixed. This is like this. But too much. It's like too much pedal. Yes. Yeah, it's just natural. And then a lot. Yeah, you see, this is 3 times more than it was. It is the entire orchestra. Yeah. Now, don't make fermata. There's ballet, right? A little bit. Yeah, and this one, right, loud. Yes. Yeah, just cut, and then look, pedal. You were doing this, right? And then pedal. Yeah, basically I need. It's kind of should stay pedal. Yes. Yeah, very dry. Look, we need violin. You see, dance. Very good. Yeah, can you play more cantabile? Two. Yeah, that was much better now. I hear flute. A little bit brighter. Nice. Now play. Yeah, Yangrui, can you no pedal, and then pedal. down. Was. Yeah, please. This. Very contaminated. Yeah, Yangrui, can I ask you to do something? So, the violins. Yeah. So I will ask you to play this A a little bit longer. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. So and every A note kind of a little bit stretch. Otherwise, in piano we cannot express. Yeah, you know, legato. Yeah. Bass. Vibration. Yes. No, it's a little bit too hard. Playful. Now, soft. This it's like, look. Now. Yes. Don't rush. Yeah, you see, the whole thing later is going to be forte, right? Right? You cannot play forte before that. This is more controlled. Soft. Shh. No crescendo. That's better. And so, and not that rigid, a little bit more dancing. Look. Yeah, very nice. So, Yangrui. So, also. Yeah, it's what we need. Forte, piano, forte, and then piano. That's good. Okay. Very nice. And so why he writes like that? Why? Yeah, because you're like, can you feel it? And leggero, more leggero. Yeah, thank you very much. Yes. Dance. 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 Yeah, very nice. So this is trumpet. Yeah, it's not too loud, but still I would like to hear more staccato. No, staccato. Not, don't hold. Now double. That's great. Hold pedal in the middle. 1, 2. Yeah, okay. So when you played, that was not in time, right? You were too fast. Now it's so perfect. You see, you control the sonorities. So this was not too soft, but very clear. And then tutti. And when there is tutti, you can use a quarter of the pedal. Okay? Good. Good. And then the glissando, 2 quarters. So, can you make clean? Yeah? Yeah, so here we have right? And yeah, can I ask you? You see what happens here, I forgot that. So, da da da. Yeah, Yangrui, and good. No, so yeah, kind of. This is but this one. Look, I think it's more staccato. With pedal. Very good. And then staccato. Yeah, this in the beginning, no pedal, and then. Yeah, Yangrui, can I? And there's what? No. I mean. Look, it's kind of. Yeah, I think you can do kind of diminution. Now, so let's do beginning. Now, stop. Always come back. No. Yeah, but what about this? Yeah, Yangrui, can you? Yeah, better. And then also. Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, go in tempo. Yeah. Good. So, very nice. So as long as you continue the same tempo, that was very good. Because in the left hand, he wrote interesting way. Still, it is. But here is crazy stuff, you know, because he wants the entire orchestra to participate, right? But so you had this here, and now continue. So that's why it should not be rubato. Yeah, but what about continue? Some pedal. So something, yeah, hold F, and then everything else. Yes. Yeah, and then free. You see how scary they're bringing back, right? So, but this one, F sharp with your thumb. Yeah, let's go from here. Pesante. Very good. G. Yes. G. Tempo. Yeah, without accent. It can. You see what happens here? Yeah, your right hand should get into the left hand without accent. Beautiful. Yeah, maybe a little bit more precise, so not sounds a little bit like this. I like that you're relaxed, yeah? But still, now you have to tune your notes. And And this, when you play beginning, like whistle, and that doesn't matter. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, and so this is a little bit. Can you play left hand for me? Yep. So here. That's yeah. So it's a little bit resistant, but not too slow. That's good. A little bit more accurate, more dancing. Again, so this, you see, very strong fingers. It's kind of, with pedal. And this is like balalaika, right? Yangrui. Yes. Yeah, that's here trumpet. It's a kind of a little bit of pedal. Not a lot of sound, okay? Don't bang. No, like this. You see, can you repeat? Yeah. Good. Yeah, and this is, can you have fun? And then down. Look. Look, sometimes we roll like this. We roll like this. But this time we roll to right, and then go down. Why? You see what I suggest? Pedal. So this is very soft. Yes. Yeah, this is just becomes a little bit more elaborated. So, by the way, don't change pedal. Yeah, and then now, and then. Yeah, now it was Yangrui. It was now the more. Oh, good. Yeah, can I? See, in any case, you have to and then down. It's the same. Yeah, otherwise, you know, if you're not making expression sounds like trouble for nothing. So, yeah, why don't you? It's basically a sense of direction and crescendo. No. Look. So you're playing one. Another. And the key is not working. Okay, yeah. So that's why. Yeah, very nice. Nice, very correct when you change the tempo here. That's it should be. Yeah, completely. And then dance. Yeah, but hold the pedal. And change when. Yeah, and now immediately, Yangrui. Yes, stop. Yeah, don't rush, and again. Rhythm. Yeah, can I ask you a little bit more breathing? This. Yeah, and still for me, sometimes a little. Now change the off. Yes, you have to manipulate pedal. Yeah, All right, and then. So can you come? Okay, again, I would like to see the connection. How you? Yeah, it's a little bit. To me, it's a little bit light, right? But it should be yeah, a little bit more weight. Yeah, maybe a little bit too much pedal. So half pedal. So new pedal. Yes. Look. So this is he forgot to. So So pedals change. Yes. Change. Understand? This is very important. Okay. Okay. Let's go. A little bit. Is a little bit kind of not too loud. Okay. No. And this is a little bit leggero percussion. No, so and then die, give, look like this. Can you make it louder? Yes, done. And now from that point. Very good pedal again. So you take the pedal and kind of hold it, right? And that works really well. But hold one quarter of the pedal. Stop. Can you? No, E I don't hear. No, better. Somehow it doesn't sound everything. E, yeah, more, stronger. And tempo. Yeah, a little bit. You see, not only shoulders, but really strong finger. Again, a little bit without pedal. And too much. Can you bring more E? Yes. Yes. Yeah, great. Yes. That's. And here you don't need, because this is just a trumpet, right? This is just a. Yeah, but that's the. Good. Now please, can you change to? Because you see, just because somebody else is playing, it's not continuously one instrument, right? Trumpet, and you call pizzicato, and now yeah, great. And so here, now 4 times. Again, you see, you understand why, right? It is always like this. Pa, 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 pa. This is the same, although he switches everywhere. But it's all E. No, you get all consistent pedal. consistent. This is the same. Can you make? So this is very loud, right? So he kind of interesting. He does, right? It comes to last one. Yeah, a little bit more nervous staccato. No, even shorter. Look. You see, it's like the fingers are so tense. But you know how you play? You play a little bit. Look, it should be would be softer. Don't play mezzo forte. Yeah. Yeah, let me show you. So it goes. Now. It should be. No, why not making accent? Pop, pum. And then now. Yeah, suddenly I see this is. It's going to be until the end, right? Until the coda, right? That's why you have to make tension. Yes. Pam 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 pam. Continue. Continue. Yes. Continue. Yeah. And again. So this is tutti quick sforzando. Yeah, continue. Dance. Song over dance. Yeah, can I ask you to this word? Thumb in the left hand more. Play soft. This was very nice. And so these trombones, yeah, okay. So he wants actually one down. Yeah, so yeah, so you don't, yeah, that will be enough. Yeah, don't kill yourself here. And then, yeah, please, can you? So this, you bring the orchestra on even higher level. Right away. Can I ask? Yangrui, almost non-legato. Look, your right hand. So pedal, yes, all the time, live there, but never full. So you can, you see, kind of half. No, that's too much. Yangrui, I really want. No caressing, right? But and then the this sort of fugato, right? So the voice is coming out. Beginning. No. This is it's a continuation, right? It's a this. No, can you more? Yeah. Again. And last one, you see, last one, never clean. So, everybody, so maybe just take a little bit of time. Make it clear. Yeah, and wait. And then not too fast. So, what do we have? I suggest, look, hands, play it with fingers. No, not still something missing. Look at listen again. So I think. Yeah, and softer. Very even. Yes. Busy. Yeah, Yangrui, can I ask you? This is crazy. Don't accelerate, okay? Just stay. Now, this one we need. Yeah, every single time you have bass. Yeah, no matter. It's impossible in this tempo to play all notes, but really almost together. Yeah. Yeah, and so this is you see what he does? He does accent. Yeah, this one. Yeah, can I ask you? Like this. Because this is brass. So and that's this one. No, not like this. Not like this. Oh. Yes. Yeah, this is the most important tuba. So and trombone. And then, yeah, okay? And please, this is so important, that ta, bum, bum, po. Yeah, very, long, yes. No, control. Too fast. Good. Yeah, a little bit more. Left pedal. Now, look. That's why you make it left pedal, so the effect is of a tuba far away in the orchestra, right? But hard. Bright trumpets. Now slow. No, change pedal. Very few. Not, yeah. this all. Look, look. Stop. Come there. And this is a little bit because it's brass higher. I think too much pedal. Yeah, look, listen again. And now, woodwind. Can I ask you? Make accent. Yeah. Don't rush. Don't. Like chicken. Yeah, not enough. This one. This. No. This one. Stop. What I want. Do. So, D. Yes. Yeah, can you look, pedal. Stop. Over the top, yeah, over everything. This more clear. Yes. Yeah, maybe here you can change. So if it's like this, more percussive, right? Maybe this a little bit. Yeah, can you make more cantability? And please. Yeah, so I think first of all, dance, so not loud, and this. Just look, what you need to do is to make it naturally. Song. Just song, proud. Very nice. Yangrui. And try. More. No. Don't rush. There's still orchestra. There's not rushing here. Crescendo. A lot. No. When you come. More. Yeah. So you see, first of all, some single instruments, then some crescendo, and then everybody make it again. Then F sharp. F sharp. Yeah, F sharp should be there. Bravo. Okay, tired? Yeah. This is good. Good, thank you.